Welcome back to a beautiful island. Rather archipelago, but you know, what's the difference? In today's episode of Where Did This Part Go Wrong? Also known as the Nature Channel. Anyway. See, on this island, known as Isla de Caño, an island in the 5 Islands of Death, it was attempted to be turned into another Jurassic Park theme park. However, it failed a mere few years after its construction. It was supposed to be the second part in the entire chain. However, due to its harsh weather and its even harsher ecosystem, it was not constructed. Due to this, it was not funded fully, which led to multiple dinosaur outbreaks, which quickly led to a rapid spike in population. Free on their own in this perfect jungle, they quickly bred and had kids. In one part of the island, a large Drysaurus population took part. However, we can still see some signs of the humans' interference on the island. Trucks, buildings, still with emergency power after all these years, still remain. But with some of the most secure fences failing, it led to more dangerous dinosaurs escaping from containment and allowing them to roam wild with even the most gentlest of creatures. On the surface, you might not find any, but if you look closer, you might just find a giant dino. Here, let's get a closer look. The Velociraptor. Taken over from the island of Isla Sorna, this species was quickly known of its fast agility and notable liking to hide in shrubby places. That's unfortunate for the herbivores on this island, as in this area, this is one of the few places with the most food and water for the herbivores. Goats also roam the island. Used as a food supply, the underground network of feeding tubes had broke many years ago. However, rumors still stands that there's one dinosaur here that lurks among the rest, noted in the swampy areas, and with a defined spined frill on the back of its spine, but whatever. Known as the Spinosaurus, it likes to live in swampy areas. And there was only one true swampy area in the entire park where it has made its residence. Inside these lands, you can now see the inner workings of this ecosystem. Though you can't see through all of the intense shrubs, you can see what you will need to. However, it seems to have made itself known. At the moment, it is resting. However, soon it'll wake up. But next to it, however, is a large structure.
Nature is amoral. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes triumphant, sometimes tragic. Of course, the death of any animal, let alone one displaced in history, is always a tragedy.
I don't know who that was. Our TV servers were probably hooked up wrong. However, the sun rises. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I hadn't actually seen that before. You can see that some creatures make themselves the utmost comfortable, even if they have the not most bright teeth. This one seems to be a little too comfortable. Or maybe it's dead, I don't know. I don't want to risk it though. Over back in the fields, we can find 2 lovebirds still here. The local Carnotaurus species. Brought over from Isla Nublar, where the first Jurassic Park and Jurassic World were. These creatures have been roaming this island for many years. And shared the same habitat. Across a large river and a cave, you might even see another species. Here they are. 2 brachiosauruses. These gigantic beasts were most docile and rated by the International Cuteness Committee. Yes, that is a real thing. I searched it up. It has been nominated as the #1 most cutest baby. And who doesn't want to pet that thing? Actually, I can think of a few, but you know, we won't mention their names. Sarah. Oh, there's a cage of fish left over by the old inhabitants of the island. However, I think that's about all for this episode. I think that Spinosaurus is dead, not gonna lie. But to end this episode, I want to mention our last species. The most littlest. However, surprisingly elusive. Due to their great camouflage, you can hardly see them. But don't worry, we're better than that and won't leave you just speculating where they are. So we'll try to look for one. Since they have made themselves known in this area, right here. Get me in there. Okay, just let me in. Okay, you know. Right, there it is. Running by the entrance, we find a nice little watering hole where a few Dryasauruses have made themselves known. But also, our last species, the Compsognathus. One of our smallest creatures on the island, apart from, like, I don't know, ants. They made themselves known in the north-south portion of the island. But I think that's where we're gonna end it off for today. Come back next time for the nature documentary of dinosaurs and abandoned islands. I mean, not just abandoned islands, but also new ones, but you know.